Hi, everybody. I'm Barbara. I'm a compulsive overeater, bulimic, and I weigh and measure 3 meals a day. Write it down, turn it over to a sponsor, and I don't eat no matter what. And absence is the most important thing in my life. The food, the food, the food. My abstinence date is May 14th, 2015. And prior to that, which I'll quickly say, after 12 and a half years of being absent on the gray sheet, abstinent, sober, and clean, I went out for a year. And it was only coming back on my face, feeling like I was going to die. I came back to gray sheet and I got abstinent. And again, that was 8 and something years ago. Really good to be here. It's nice to be in a small meeting. I'm on a next meeting after this, but it's so good to be with people from all over. And for anybody who's new or coming back or has struggled or cannot figure it out or cannot be honest or feels constitutionally incapable of being honest, that's all right. You just keep coming until you get it. And everybody gets it differently. I will be really honest with you. I'm kind of like an atheist, agnostic. I believe in the spirit of the being, which is breathing for me or telling the truth or being honest. Like that's godlike to me. But I don't follow any religion. And we all get to figure out how to do the steps. And we all get it differently. And we all get it in our own time. And for me, it's about paying attention and just going by what I believe. And what I do believe about this program is, and I got an early gray sheet in early Cambridge, is it's the food, the food, the food. You're here to put the food down. You're not here to get good. You're here to get better. Because I was, from all of the behaviors I had before I came in, I was a purger for over 20 years. I was a drug addict. I drank, I lied, I cheated, and I looked like I was Mother of the Year. And I lived a very, very double life. And it's very sad, but that was my history. And for me, that was my addiction. And some of our addictions are ugly, some are not as bad. It doesn't make a difference. I'm just a regular person who is learning a day at a time how to really become kind to myself. And the hardest I have with people is I don't have it hard with people. I have it hard with the way I feel about myself. And that's just the way it is. Like they used to say, you can't really love people until you love yourself. I don't know if I believe in that. I kind of like myself a lot. I'm just another garden variety. I grew up, I was one of four girls. I grew up in my mother was a rageaholic. That was the addiction in my house. So I learned very, very young how to tiptoe, how to people please. My first addiction before I picked up the food at 5 was to lie. I made a conscious decision at 4 years old that something was not right and I didn't trust. And my story is no worse or better. My mother was amazing in many ways, but my family of origin, I'm Jewish. I grew up in an intellectual, funny, crazy home where we were all tiptoeing around and emotions were, I was scared, scared. I come from a lot of mental illness. Thank God I had my addictions. I had a twin sister. who committed suicide. And in fact, she was living in Hampstead, England, and she had two babies. And she had killed herself on my mother's birthday, which was John Kennedy's assassination. Um, and it's funny how you remember things. But both of my mother's brothers committed suicide, and I have an older sister. If she's not medicated, she's in a straitjacket. So that's my home. There was a lot of good stuff. I'm a survivor. I really am. Um, a lot of loss, but a lot of good stuff. So I learned how to eat. And I have to just say, my first drug of choice was the food, because the food comforted me. But it was a moral issue in my house. The issue was growing up externally, everybody looked good. But the message was, and again, there weren't words, but the message of the world, the message of my family is look good, do not get fat, or nobody will love you. And my parents were, they were art, they were in love. My parents loved each other. My mother didn't want girls. My mother didn't want children. So we were four girls, 5 years apart. So food became very important in my life. Body obsession. I was not a fat kid. Looking back, I was probably 10 years, 10 pounds, 15 pounds heavier than my twin sister. I picked up speed in high school and cigarettes. And speed was like black beauties in those days. I'm 65 years old. Holy moly, I can't believe it. But I can't believe I've done so many drugs. I can't even tell you. I Cocaine was my drug of choice. But I just have to say, with all the drugs and pills, I was a college student. I knew how to bullshit and lie about everything. And in the end, my head was in a toilet and I was secretive, and I got people to do everything I wanted. And every decision I made was based on fear, but I was impulsive. Some people can't make a decision. I made a decision in 5 seconds. Oh, okay, I'll marry him. Oh, okay, I'll get pregnant. That is how I lived. I was so stunted by the food, by picking it up. And yet I created this external life and around so much like intellect. And yet I felt stupid. I never worked for anybody because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to work for anybody. So I was self-employed my whole life, because the fear they'd find out I was stupid. Like, this is craziness. And why? Because I stuffed myself. I'm a volume eater. I ate like 3 football players, and I'd puke it up. And if I could get stock in cleaning supplies and I brushed my teeth, I dental floss, I put a shower cap on my head. I was a good bulimic. Nobody knew. My first husband didn't know. Nobody knew except my twin sister. It was very, very shameful. Bulimia, I don't know if anybody here ever experienced it, but I could tell people I was doing cocaine and doing drugs, but to tell somebody that I ate like an animal, I look like a lady, and I puked my guts out. This is what the eating disorder does. We're just all garden variety. Um, so that's where I came from. Um, I married my first husband. I divorced him. I had two little kids. I was so stunted, and it was all about somebody else. It was their fault. Meanwhile, my husband and I do everything together. And I've been married to another guy for 24 years, because we have two amazing, amazing children. I don't know what universe they came from, but um, they're amazing kids. And I'm a grandmother. And the greatest, greatest, greatest joy I have is my grandchildren. I have two granddaughters. What a gift. And I play with them like Like I play hard. Um, what does that have to do with food? Everything. Everything. Most of you know here what the food has done to us. I don't have to tell you. It eats your soul. It makes you hate, well, I hated myself. It's interesting being in the other rooms. I see with foodies, there's so much more of a deeper level of self-loathing. I can't explain it because it's more isolating. You don't eat with groups of people unless you're with other foodies. But the truth is, I don't have addicts in my life. My husband, my kids, I don't know where I came from. Uh, I'm the odd one, but um, so I know I'm all over the place. But let me just say, so what does any of this have to do with anything? Everything. I do the gray sheet. I do the gray sheet program. I stay very, very much. One more minute left. I'm so blind. 4 minutes left. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm so blind. Um, I I do service, and service is showing up. Um, I have a home group in Watertown, Mass. I do almost a Zoom meeting every day for Gray Sheet. Um, because I don't care. And I'm in another program, la di da. I don't, for me, do AA for the food. I need to be in Gray Sheet. No excuse for me to go to AA meetings to hear about the food. If you need to hear about the 12 steps and not picking up the first bite, if you don't have Gray Sheet, I am a down and dirty monster with the food. And that's why the food is very different from any other addiction. Um, because we have to do it every day and we got to be practical and we got to prepare. I leave every week to go to my daughter's house. And even though every gray sheet things up there, I like to prepare stuff. I'm a big cook. I cook for everybody. My kids love my gray sheet food. Like my son would eat gray sheet all the time. In fact, I made the WGs, and he wanted to he showed them off to see if we could do a start he could start up because he loves my little WGs. And I was like, I'm not putting preservatives in, so like, the millennials can go and pick them up and eat them. It was just, it's, gray sheets, the best food. I love my food. Every meal I have, I cannot tell you, with my chopsticks, my New Yorker. Yes, I watch Netflix with my husband when we're eating. Yes, I love reading. Yes, I love going out with I was with 5 other gray sheeters at a wedding the other night. We weighed and measured for the wedding couple. They're both in program. Um, I'm able to see. I drive every week. I drive up 100 miles to see my gray sheet friends and my family. Um, so I spend a lot of time getting to see great sheeters. Um, I sponsor. I love sponsoring. I'm not a business person. Um, I do Zoom stuff. You know, I'll do hand raises, and I still don't like being a timer, but I do service. Thank you. Um, but the biggest service I do is I thank inner, the spirit of the being is you guys. Good orderly direction, a group of drunks. To me, you guys, and again, are like godlike to me because you're the only people in the world that get this head. And as normalized as I am, because I weigh and measure my food, that's as normal as I am as a human being because I have the carbohydrates and the grains down. I have learned and learning to train and dewire my brain. And the only way I do that, and I'm not doing this yoga. I used to do Bikram. I'm not doing that. It kills my body. Is I breathe. And that breath is telling me time to end. So thanks, guys.